questions to ask throughout a campaign with the confidence rising. I told WDF don't switch, good times are coming on even deep diving. Fan cams, reactions, watch alongs to the pride of London thriving. The Eagles of South they flying. Keep your eyes on us, we ain't hiding.
Yes, guys, welcome back to Eagle-Eyed Football. Welcome back to episode 4 of Transfer Weekly. And you know what? There's some really big updates for this Transfer Weekly today. And before we start, please remember to like, share, subscribe. You know, we try and upload this every single week. We try and do the shorts every single day. Let's get straight into it. So, updates. First, we have got reports and rumours from Portsmouth, who are apparently looking to loan Jezren Ratsaki for the whole season next year. However, it seems to have fallen through, but by looking at what certain people are saying online, that it's all fake news anyway, that Portsmouth never even wanted him, yada, yada, yada. But I think it'd be good for Jez to get a loan next season, you know, depending on what happens with some of our wingers in the transfer window. Also, just keeping you guys updated that Kamada, it's all done. We're all waiting for it. And as we said last week, we're just waiting until July the 1st to announce him. Probably because if we announce him any earlier, Lazio will kick up a fuss because his contract finishes on the 30th of June. So I'm sure if we announce him as our player before his contract actually runs out at Lazio, there's probably going to be a big issue. But, you know, I'd rather do it that way than have beef with another team. In other news, our international players are doing extremely well at the moment. For example, Mr. Mark Gay, who has been England's best player and man of the match for the last 2 games. In the tournament, he's just looked so calm, so composed, so confident and nice and aggressive at the back. You know, he's just demonstrating to the masses and the general public about what kind of a player he is and the player that we know he is, because he's an incredible talent and we all know it. We've been saying it as Palace fans, and finally he's shown it on the biggest stage. And, you know, I'm glad for him because he's doing really well and he's doing Palace proud. Also, there are reports that he is willing to negotiate a new contract after he returns to Crystal Palace after the tournament. This will be massive because we thought that we had to sell him because he wasn't signing a new deal. But, you know, if he does sign that new deal, then, you know, absolutely amazing. Also, Eze has got 21 minutes against Denmark, but in this dead team that every single person that came on and everyone's playing in this system that Southgate's playing, they're just not performing. Bowen didn't perform, Watkins didn't perform, Gallagher didn't perform, and Eze didn't perform. And that's not only their faults because they're subbed into a really bad situation, but I really hope that Eze and Wharton do get a lot more game time in this system, because I think Wharton will just make this dead system turn into something pretty good. Also, a few more changes are done, but I think Wharton and Eze definitely deserve a lot more game time in this England team. Also, Joachim Andersen, he's had 2 good performances for Denmark. He's played against England and Slovenia, and it's very interesting to see him playing on the right side of a back 3, because he plays in the centre of Crystal Palace's back 3, but he seems to play on the right side in Denmark's back 3. So it's good to see that he can switch between the centre and the right-sided centre-back in a back 3. Also, it's quite incredible to just see Joachim Andersen just absolutely marking Harry Kane out of the game, and we know he's good enough to do it anyway. And, you know, he's just like with Mark, he's the player that we know and we've been talking about, and he's a great defender. Also, the fact that corners and set pieces, Mark and Andersen were both marking each other. And there was a time late on into the game where Eze got the ball turned and Andersen dragged him straight to the floor. Probably because he knows that if Eze gets running, they ain't stopping him. Also, finally, big up to Mr. Chris Richards. He's having his first game for the USA against Bolivia in the Copa America. I believe that will be on the 23rd. I'm recording this on the 22nd. So, you know, it is about to happen. And, you know, we wish Chris Richards the best of luck in the Copa America, and we also wish Munoz and Lerma the best in the Copa America as well. It's great to represent your country, and in a little bit of a selfish way, you're increasing all of their development and they are also increasing their transfer value. So, let's get into it. Michael Olise. What a player. What a player. We're going to have to talk about the events of that Friday evening. You know, we got reports coming out that we finally seen off Chelsea. You know, he's staying at Selhurst Park for another season. I was gassed. I was looking at Chelsea fans, laughing at them, posting at them on Twitter, thinking, oh man, it's amazing. We got Glasner and Olise for another year to see what could happen. But then genuinely, all these fans saying that he's a Chelsea player, he's Chelsea through and through, this, that. Oh, we've agreed personal terms. Oh, we've agreed terms with Palace. He's our player, this, that. Just for them to say that they couldn't even activate his clause because they didn't have enough cash. And also, Michael Olise physically chose not to go to them, even though certain men say that he wanted to go. He really didn't, because if he wanted to go, he would have wanted that clause to be activated for Chelsea as well. But that's not the case. And it's so mad that they thought they had it done, but they didn't even get to the talking stage or even speaking to Michael Olise, because you have to, with the contract, you had to strike a deal with Palace before you can even get to Michael. And, Chelsea are a joke man club. And you see what happened there. However, such a great feeling was followed by some saddening news, I think literally about 10 minutes later. Ornstein, very, very reputable source when it comes to football transfers, dropped a huge bomb. He said that Michael Olise has agreed personal terms and Bayern Munich have agreed terms with Crystal Palace in the signing of Michael Olise. This is a £60 million release clause that can only be triggered by a team in the Champions League. And Bayern Munich, they are always within the Champions League. Honestly, very, very mixed emotions here. I think that if you watch the stream that we did last night, I'll definitely put a link in the description for that one. That there's very mixed emotions. I think certain people are happy, other people are really sad, other people are a little bit neutral, and I'll go through it in a minute. But it's disappointing, but nothing's done yet. Nothing's concrete. It's only concrete when he's in another shirt or when he's there signing a contract that's on the club's official page. But Real Madrid and Manchester City did have late interest, so there is potential that he could be swayed either way, or even potentially at a really big stretch, he could stay at Crystal Palace, but Bayern Munich would be a good place for him to go, let's say. Obviously, there are a lot of positives and negatives this one. In my opinion, and I don't know if you guys agree, but this one feels like it hurts a lot more than Wilfried Zaha leaving, probably because we knew Zaha was leaving over a long time, and we also had a lot of use out of Zaha. But Michael Olise leaving this club is a bit tragic, really, because you're breaking up probably the best duo in the Premier League of Eze and Olise. And if we have to look at it in hindsight, I think that all Palace fans have to feel extremely lucky that we even got to witness those two play in the same team at the same time in red and blue shirts. Both of them are both destined for the top, and they're both destined for something bigger than Crystal Palace. It's just a shame that we thought that we might actually get a little bit more use out of them, but this is probably the best case scenario if Michael Olise does go to another country. Reported by Bobby Manzi, we have got contingency plans if Ebbs or Michael do leave the club, and it's reported that those replacements would be the likes of Matthias Sule and Job Bellingham, all suitable replacements which we've been scouting for a little while, so I'm sure that we've already got contact with them, and because this is happening, I'm sure that if Michael or Ebbs does go, we'll be very quick to act and try and get these two players. Also, this deal is very nice for us because they have to pay all the money up front. I think 10% of it has to go to Reading, but the rest of it is pure profit. If you look at it this way, we bought him for 8 million, we sold him for 60. I think that works out to around £51 million in profit. So I'm not complaining. It's an absolutely incredible amount of money. But I feel like we're letting them go for a little bit cheaper so we can build relationships. We're not doing what Brighton did, where they just overcharge people and then no one would ever want to buy from them again, for example. So trying to build relationships with Bayern Munich. So, we can maybe benefit off of some of their players, and, then we could start churning players up to these other clubs and have a good relationship with them. The only thing I would say is that I hope that this isn't a case where, Olise goes there, then maybe Wharton goes there next year, and then Glasner goes there the year after. Then we're really left in the mud, aren't we? But, it's a great thing that he's going to another league. He'll get there, he'll go win trophies like he's always wanted to do. And, if he's in another league, he can't come back and haunt us unless we get into Europe as well. But honestly, if he does go there, I would love to go to Munich and go and watch a game, maybe even buy a Bayern shirt of Olise on the back. I feel like it would just be incredible to see our boy playing in the Champions League. Also, I have to respect the fact that he's getting a huge pay rise with this. This is a deal that I don't think any footballer in the world could turn down. £220,000 a week is an incredible amount of money. And if I'm honest, if I'm Michael, even if I'm a Palace fan, I'm taking that 220 grand a week for a player like him. That's just an offer you cannot refuse, and I respect it, if I'm really honest. Michael has given us so many amazing memories. Like, I can't even list them all out. I've written a script and I've written some down, but even some more are coming to my mind. Like, the ones I've written down here is his first goal again for Palace, where he scored after he came off the bench against Leicester. The performance for Wolves away in Vieira's first season, where he just absolutely tore them to shreds. Millwall's goal and, shushing all the fans, that was incredible. The last minute winner against West Ham, where it was a deflected shot, and then the absolute scenes in the crowd. And then also ones that are coming to my mind now, like this season, the amazing goal against Luton, the penalty to draw against Man City this season as well. Man United free kick at the end of the game. Like, there's just so many, and it's only been here for 3 years. We've been telling you guys, he is a world-class player, and now that he's on the world-class stage, he'll show other people all over the world what Crystal Palace fans have been saying about this guy, and saying that he will be one of the best players in the world. I think the last thing I'd like to say is thank you very much, Michael, for everything you've done for the club, for nicing us, for signing that extra contract. If you didn't, then he would have left for 35 million, but he niced us and got us a nice little 60. And, thanks for all the memories. Big up yourself and become the best player in the world, because I think we all know that you can be the best winger in the world with the talent you have. Next up, we have Archie Brown, a 22-year-old English-Jamaican left-back that currently plays for KAA Genk in the Belgium League. He's played an incredible amount of football this year, considering that he has had to miss 8 games due to injury. He has played 44 games, 21 of those in the Belgian League, 10 of those in the European qualifiers, 6 in the European Conference League, 3 in the Belgian Super League, 2 to qualify into the Conference League, and 2 in the Croaky Cup, which is their equivalent to the FA Cup, let's say. He's a very versatile left-back because he can play left-back, left midfield, left centre-back, and right centre-back. So he can be used anywhere across the pitch, and I think he'll be very good. As a player profile, I think he'll be perfect in Glasner's system. This because he's a very strong runner, he's comfortable on the ball, and he loves to cross. He's also very good at doing 1-2s to then give and go, like give the ball to the midfielder, dart it down the wing, receive the ball, and then either pick a great pass inside or a great cross inside. He's very dangerous on both feet, and he's a very strong runner with the ball. As shown here, he's able to bounce the ball with the midfielder, he's able to hit the ball in behind. He runs around the outside of the player, picks up the ball, looks up, and then makes a great cross into a good area, which the striker does come across to finish. Also, in the same game, the same sort of move, but instead of running around the outside, he runs on the inside. So as we can see, he takes the ball here, he passes it inside, the midfielder does a nice pass in behind, he runs through 2 players, so showing his physicality that he's able to run through people, and picks up the ball, runs it all the way to the byline, taking out another defender, crossing it up high, header gets on it, and it's another goal. Currently, he does play in a back 4 system, so it doesn't give him that much license to go forward. But in our current system, he'll have a lot of license to go forwards. And in our current setup, I feel like his attacking attributes will be noticed and amplified a lot more than they are currently at Ghent. He's an extremely physical presence, as he's very strong, and he's also 6'3". Great stamina, and he seems like he can run forever. However, he can't run as much as Munoz because that man is a freak. His composure on the ball is great. He's able to dribble out of hard situations. He's able to pass through the lines. And to be fair, for someone as big as him and as strong as him, he's got really quick feet. He's able to run really quickly as well, which are just assets which would be absolutely incredible for Crystal Palace. Also, I haven't spoken about him much, but his defending's good, but it's nowhere near as good as Tyreek Mitchell, as he's a much more attacking fullback or wing-back. But he's still calm, he's still composed, and he likes to use his strength and his pace to win the ball off people. The 22-year-old looks like he'll cost £12.6 million, but I think that's 15 million in euros. I think he'll be a great fit for giving Mitchell some competition. And, I think competition's very good for him to have competition with Mitchell, and also they could teach each other stuff. He can maybe teach Mitchell like how to attack better. Mitchell can maybe teach him how to defend better. And, I think it will just be a great signing for us in total, because we need depth in every position and we only have one left back at the club. So even if, he's not going to start, he's going to be a great player. And it's a lot of money for someone to be on the bench. But if we're looking to improve and progress, this is the kind of signings we need to make. We need to increase the quality in our depth as well as increase the depth in the squad. You guys tell me this. Archie Brown for £12.6 million or Ryan Sessegnon for free. However, his wages are going to be high. Who would you pick in the comments below? Odsonne Edouard. I would like to start by saying controversially, I wouldn't want to let Edouard go because I do think he's a good finisher and there's a great player in there. But I do agree that he does not fit Glasner's system. This is because Glasner wants someone that can run forever and will always put pressure on the ball. And unfortunately, he's just not as good at it as JP. However, he's a serious baller. This is because not every striker can make his own chances. He can pick up the ball from deep. He can dribble forwards and make a chance for himself. Also, how many other strikers do you know in the Premier League that can play on the wing and still not look out of place? For me, it's probably only Jesus and Isaac. I don't think any other striker, but please let me know if I'm wrong, can do that in the Premier League. And also for someone of his stature that can dribble so well and his feet are so quick, I think it's a great asset for us. I would also like to keep him because I do agree that it probably makes sense to sell him or to keep him. I think both make sense really, because I think we can still get what we paid for him back again because he's not too old, and also he's still got a year left on his contract. So really we need to sell him this year, because if we don't, he'll leave for free. It's also good to have two first team quality forwards in the squad, purely because I don't think Mateta's run is going to last forever. And I think that Edouard is a suitable replacement for JP if his form does to fall off, or if JP gets tired in the end of games. I think Edouard is a perfect replacement for that, because he'll only have to run for 20-30 minutes instead of the whole 90. Granted, I do believe that I am still a little bit hyped for Edouard purely because of his debut. I know it was 3 years ago, but how good was it? And the only reason why I don't want him to go is because I know he'll cook for another team. I think the perfect place for him to go is probably a team that are just coming into the Premier League. And if we sell him to them, he will cook for them. 2021, 6 goals, 3 assists. 2022, 23, 5 goals, 2 assists. 23, 24, 7 goals. To be fair, with the amount of game time he's had, with the managers he's had, the fact he's played out of position, these are very good numbers, and I think he's done very well. There are articles that are coming out saying that other clubs are interested in Odsonne Edouard, and I think that, as I said, I think a team coming into the Premier League will be perfect for him. But I don't want to sell. I think that he's just a player of too much quality, and we don't have any quality up front. I think that we have to sell him. But you guys let me know. Do we cash in on Eddie? Or do we keep him for another season and hopefully make him sign a new deal? Let me know. But let's say hypothetically that we do sell Odsonne Edouard. In my opinion, I think what we should do, which will make the most sense, is maybe move Ayew to be the second striker so he comes off the bench, because his energy is good. He's able to run with the ball. He can score a goal or two. I think he'll be all right up front. He has done it before when he scored 10 goals for us that one season under Hodgson. And he's able to win fouls up the pitch. But we would need a third striker, and I think everyone would agree that our third striker would need to be a talent, a young player that can come in, developed, play all the cup games, and, be a player for the future. Enter Theo Barry, another player from the Belgian league. It looks like we're very interested in the Belgian league ever since Oliver Glasner has joined. He is a 21-year-old striker from FC Basel. We have spoken about him before in Transfer Weekly in the January transfer window, and also we've done shorts on this guy because he's a recent talent that Palace should really capitalise on, and it shows this because we've been scouting him for quite a while that maybe this is the time to maybe pull the trigger on him. Also, on another note, FC Basel, he already plays in red and blue. At 21 years old, he is a 6'4" striker with some serious pace, quick feet, and he's got the makings of a beast, and potentially he could be the next Jean-Philippe Mateta. The Mateta similarities don't stop there, mind you. He's very similar in his way of running and controlling the ball. It's very awkward, and when he has the ball, it looks like he's got no control, but he actually has really good and really impressive control, which is sort of similar to Mateta and even Aaron Wan-Bissaka if you want to take it that far. He has had a great season this year, 37 appearances, 12 goals, 5 assists in all competitions. But one thing that you have to say is that this is his first year in the Belgian top division. So this is the first time he's played in the top division of the Belgian league, and he's had these kind of stats. That is incredible. And to just watch him play as well, just knowing now that he's so young and he's had such a good season in his first year, getting promoted, that makes it even more impressive to me. As seen here, it shows that he's able to hold up the ball really well. He comes short to collect the ball, but then when he does that, his first thought is to turn and start driving up the pitch. As he's driving, he starts to take on 2 players that get very close to him, but he's got the composure to do a chop, and then his first touch after the chop is an incredible reverse pass to the midfielder that carried on running after he passed him the ball. And he messed up the first shot, but luckily it rebounded and went into the net afterwards. Incredible pass, and for someone so young, I know that this isn't in the Premier League, I know it's not a top 5 league, and I know he didn't have much pressure while he was doing it, but still the pass was incredible, and the confidence of a young player to take someone on and even think about doing that and having the ability to get the pass off is absolutely incredible. Also here, if you can see his starting position, he is on the halfway line and the other striker is breaking through. But he does run extremely hard and he's very quick. You can see it because he just gets away from the centre-back that's trying to follow him and just runs away from him. But it's also great to see that he's looking across the line. He's staying on side. He's making sure that the midfielder or the striker, whoever it is, has got a nice, easy pass towards him. When he gets the pass, he takes a nice touch, looks down, looks up, sees the keeper coming out and absolutely smashes it through the legs of the keeper. Great finish, great goal. And overall, I think this would be a great sign for Crystal Palace. We seem like we're looking for hidden gems in the Belgian league, in all other leagues, and even in the Championship. And I think for someone that's got this kind of talent in that kind of physical build, and, to play as many games as he has, and he's even played in some European qualifying games as well. For that kind of experience already, I think it would be great to take a chance on him. And, he wouldn't cost too much. Reports saying about £5 million, and I think it's worth it, that I think we should try. Yes, guys, thank you very, very much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. Please put in the comments below who you want me to cover next week, and I hope you guys are enjoying. So, guys, thank you very much for watching, and as always, up the Palace. Eagles!